everyone, it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel, What Cass Read. Today we're going to do my March book haul. Now I know I recently posted like a very big spring cleaning unhaul where I got rid of a ton of boxes of books, and I thought I wasn't gonna buy as many books as I did for the month of March, but when you buy them in like small little increments, sometimes when you get them all together and see how much you've actually hauled, it ends up being more than you originally intended to and anticipated, and that's my disclaimer for this book haul. Okay, so let's get to it. I did purchase some books that aren't here yet, as I'm sure a lot of you knew already. March was a really big month for new releases, like new YA fantasy releases. So the first one that I actually have in my possession, I finally have it. It's Obsidium, which is book number 3 in the Illuminae files, book number 3 after Illuminae and Gemina. This is written by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This concludes the whole series, and if the tweets and the reviews that have been coming out, like this book, I'm a little bit nervous about it. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm just a little bit nervous about what is in store. Like the little book owl, like her tweet of just like a bunch of angry faces, and then she tagged Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff in it, and all they did was just like laugh. I feel like Jay Kristoff is just like playing us. The Children of Blood and Bone, written by Tomi Adeyemi. This was also one of my most anticipated 2018 releases. This is a debut novel, young adult fantasy series that takes place in a fictionalized African society with magic. I cannot wait till I have this in my hands. So that's coming in my Amazon haul. And then the last new release that I got for the month of March was Rosha and the End of Time, written by Roshni Chokshi. And it's a middle grade novel with Indian folklore interspersed into the novel. It's a very beautiful cover, which also makes me really excited. But on the cover of the book, it's just this young girl and then all these like animals that are just kind of like luminescent in light and color, and it looks so beautiful. I can't wait to have that in my hands. I probably won't begin that one anytime soon because I'm trying to keep up with the BookTube SFF awards, so that one might get pushed off for a little bit, but that one was in that book haul. The last book that I did have in that Amazon order was also for the BookTube SFF awards. It is one of the middle grade novels, and that is Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow. So that one I do plan on beginning very soon, probably not this upcoming month, but I want to have that in my hand so I can read it for the BookTube SFF Awards. This I got from Book Outlet. This is The School for Good and Evil, The Last Ever After. This is book 3 in that series. If you remember from a couple of months ago, I found The School for Good and Evil, the second one, on accident. Like, I thought I was purchasing the first book, and then it turns out it was the second book, so I did end up buying the first book, and I have the second book, and then this was on Book Outlet, so I was like, okay, well, I'll complete the trilogy. I do believe the series has continued on where they're a little bit, like, graduated from school. It's called, like, the Camelot years. This book, surprise, it's not fantasy. This is The Fact of a Body. I got this from Book Outlet as well. This is written by Alexandria Marzano Lesnevich. I picked this up because one of my favorite channels, possibly Lit Emily, she read this book, or she had this book in a haul, and then she had this book in like a TBR, and the way she talked about it got me really excited. I've been meaning to comment on your latest video. Is it your haul or your wrap-up or something like that? But it seems like Emily's been like really into these like crime novels, like true crime novels, not just like crime fiction novels, a little bit morbid, a lot to do with some bodies. So anyways, she read this book in the month of March and she got me really excited for it, so I ordered it right away, right? And then I tweeted at her when she like finished it up, and she was like, ooh, I don't know about it. I don't know if I can recommend this book. This book was way darker than I had anticipated. This is a murder and a memoir. The author is a young law student and then goes to work for a firm, and I think when she goes to work for the firm, it kind of tests what her personal thoughts toward the death penalty. I think that's what it's about. So now that Emily's a little bit cautious about recommending this book, I'm not so sure. Maybe when I'm in like a dark and twisty mood, I'll pick this one up. So this is The Fact of a Body. This is Something Red. This is the first book in a series that I also picked up from Book Outlet. The second book is called The Wicked. So both of these books were on Book Outlet. These are 2 fantasy novels. This is a fantasy series. I don't know a lot about it. What caught me, like caught my interest, was this takes place in like 13th century England, and it's like magic and horror. So I didn't know a lot going into it. I haven't heard many people talk about it, but both of them were on there and I was like, I have to have $35 worth of books so I can get free shipping. You know how Book Outlet does that to you? So this is Something Red, and then The Wicked, written by Douglas Nicholas. And this is my final book order from that Book Outlet haul. This is God's Grave, written by Jay Kristoff. This is book number 2 in the Nevernight Chronicles. I have Nevernight already, and then I wanted to pick up God's Grave. If you follow Jay Kristoff on his social media, he tweeted out the link to the cover reveal for the US cover of the 3rd book that's about to come out. I forgot the name of the 3rd book, but it looks insane. Like, if you've seen any of these covers in the Nevernight Chronicles, they are so crazy. I love them. So this ended up being a signed 1st edition, which was kind of a pleasant surprise when I got it. So it turns out I have Jay Kristoff's signature. I didn't even plan for that to happen, so that's really exciting. And then this book, this is The Falconer, written by Elizabeth May. Originally, I wasn't like intending on picking this book up, but then of course, as what happens is I watched the review from Sam from Thoughts on Tomes. She reviewed this book, and then February, hosted by the Book Life SJ, Sarah Jane, she hosted February for the month of February. This is a book about a fae hunter. It just caught me at the right time and I had to order it. Sam also did mention that this book reminded her so much of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but with fae, and I was like, oh yes. So I did order it, and I can't wait to begin it, probably after I catch up on the BookTube SFF Awards. And then here we go. This is Dark Fever, written by Karen Marie Moaning. Sarah Jane, you're gonna be so happy about this. Of course, I ordered this right after February. This is book number 1 in the Fever series, and if you follow anything that the Book Life SJ has put out on her channel, you will know that this is her favorite series of all time. It's a young woman, her sister has been murdered, and she's setting out to find some answers. She gets involved with a mysterious character and kind of gets involved in the fae world. Sarah Jane has talked so highly of this series. I've watched her vlog from when she met the author. I've watched her review of this. Every single time she mentions it, I'm like, okay, I feel like this is a book that I need to get my hands on, especially when I need like a little bit of a break from the like really heavy novels that I'm reading. If I want a little bit of something that's gonna like get my blood moving, get my blood going with a super hot man, I think this will be the series for me. So this is Dark Fever, written by Karen Marie Moaning. Then I picked up Fool's Errand by Robin Hobb, as well as The Golden Fool, written by Robin Hobb. I kind of like having mass market paperback versions of these books so they can be like my throw around copies, and I've also had a couple of friends who want to borrow some of my Robin Hobb books, so I just like having the option to give them a mass market paperback where it doesn't matter to me if it gets tossed around, and then I can just like keep my other copies safe and sound. Are any of you like that too? Like where you have a couple different copies of your favorite book series? I am gonna finish the Mistborn series first and then get back into Robin Hobb. I needed a little bit of a break so I could read some other fun stuff. This is Red Sister, written by Mark Lawrence. This is the first book of the Ancestor series. So this book is about a group of young women assassins who like are a part of a convent. Like it's a convent of young women assassins. And that's pretty much all I know about this book. That's all I needed to know about this book, and this book I will be reading for the BookTube SFF Awards. And then the last book is another Mark Lawrence book. This is Prince of Thorns. This is book 1 of the Broken Empire trilogy. I said when I was talking about the BookTube SFF TBR, I haven't ever read any Mark Lawrence, but every single time I see Mark Lawrence, his books just like catch my eye. This is a book about a young prince who runs away from his family, and he sort of becomes this like murderer. And he's like 14, he's like this leader of a gang, and it's supposed to be super dark and gritty fantasy. So I wanted to give this a try since I hadn't read any Mark Lawrence before. Alright, I hope you enjoyed. If you saw any titles that you really liked, you think that I should get to first, please do let me know. If you saw some of your favorites, please let me know why they were your favorites. And of course, you know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later. Bye.